Hi, how are you? It's great to see you. I'm Josh Razauskas, and this is my review for Season 1, Episode 1 of The Mandalorian. That's right, the first ever live action show within the Star Wars universe, starring Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian himself, and joined in the pilot by such star-studded names as Nick Nolte and Taika Waititi, is finally here as Disney Plus is finally here as of today, November 12th. This review slash breakdown will contain spoilers, so if you haven't had a chance to see The Mandalorian yet, I do highly recommend that you just drop a like on this video if you're so inclined, add this to your favorites, watch laters, and come back when you've had a chance to see the episode. Because in my opinion, there's no way to review this episode of this show and probably this show as a whole with the way this one went without getting into spoiler territory. In typical Star Wars fashion, we open in a cantina slash bar and everybody's having a great time and everybody is witnessing what each other is up to, keeping an eye on each other, talking in their native alien languages with subtitles. This is definitely Star Wars. Then walks in the Mandalorian. And just as the Mandalorian walks in, he is witness to a skirmish between two aliens, and he gets rid of one and saves the other from a beatdown. This alien is very grateful to the Mandalorian, offers him drinks, offers him chips, chips as in, money, offers him, whatever commission he wants. And it turns out that this individual is actually the Mandalorian's bounty. So the Mandalorian takes his bounty aboard his ship. Love the ship. Very Clone Wars-esque. The Clone Wars live-action ships were among the very few good things about the Clone Wars movie. So I really enjoyed seeing that as a thing again that happened. So very Clone Wars-like with his ship. But the character tries to be funny at times. He ends up coming off as kind of annoying, but he attempts to have some banter with the Mandalorian, says to the Mandalorian, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom or the loo, depending on how you say it in the country that you're in. We actually do find out what a bathroom looks like in the Star Wars universe. Of course, he's down there looking for a means of escape. He's talking about wishing how he could be home for Life Day with his family. He says, but that's probably not going to happen this year. And as he says that, he discovers the bounties frozen in carbonite by the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian says, probably not, and proceeds to take out and freeze this particular bounty in carbonite. So he succeeds in that bounty and goes to see his booking agent. The guy that's similar to what we see Han Solo do in the original trilogy. There's always a guy in the galaxy that is in charge of seeing when bounty hunters are in need and giving people that are independent and not tied down to anything somewhere to go and a job to do. So I call it the bookie type character. So he goes and sees the bookie type character here, and the bookie type character tries to pay him in Imperial Chips, and he says, that's Imperial money. I don't take Imperial money. The Empire's gone. So that's a very poignant thing. He establishes right then and there that the Empire is gone and it no longer is standing within this timeline. The Booker says, look, they still spend, and the Mandalorian says, no, he's about to take back his bounty and give the profits to someone else. And the booker is like, okay, I can do this other form of chip. I forget the name of it. It's inconsequential, but he says, I can only do this other form of chip, but I can only pay half. And the Mandalorian says, fine. The Mandalorian says, what else have you got for me? And he offers a couple of things. And the Mandalorian's like, that fee will barely pay gas these days. And then the booker proceeds to say, well, there is one job. And tells him that this one job is very secretive. He doesn't even have a name for him. He just has coordinates that he has to go to. So this is very unusual for the world of the Mandalorian, for a Mandalorian to take a gig like this. But the Mandalorian obviously wants really good money, so he agrees to take on the mission. And he goes and he meets up with the client for this mission that he's supposed to go on. He's paid in very, very expensive. It's not latinum, because this isn't Star Trek, but I don't know what else to call it. But it's the most expensive way that you can get paid in this version of the Star Wars universe in currency. He gets paid that, and he's given coordinates where his target is. We then see a little bit more about the world and life of a Mandalorian as he goes to have some weapons made. The woman who makes the weapons for him says, this is very generous. This donation that you're giving us will feed many forlorn, I think is what they called him, or founded. Maybe it was founded. I believe the word was founded. This will help many founded. And the Mandalorian says, that's very good. I was once founded. And the female Mandalorian weapon maker says, I know. And we see a little flash of his origin where he was taken from his parents. So we get to see a little bit of the traumatic events that shaped this particular Mandalorian, the main character played by Pedro Pascal. So we then, of course, see the Mandalorian arrive on the planet where he's supposed to collect his bounty. And he is about to get attacked by this creature. Another alien comes up and saves him, and he's like, hey, you're a Mandalorian. I want to help you. And the Mandalorian's like, why do you want to help me? And there's some funny things that happen, at least attempted to be funny. I thought this was actually one of the weaker points of the episode, because this was very much like, we have to have some levity here right now. This thing has been too serious all the way through the episode, and it just felt very out of place and felt like a carbon copy scene from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It's like the folks at Lucasfilm looked at Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them when Newt is riding that hippo-like creature and trying to get that hippo-like creature back into his briefcase and says, let's do that. So that's what that reminded me of. Very, very jarring and very, very out of place. But hey, it is what it is. And it didn't really distract me too much from the overall episode. What really is important here is that this was Nick Nolte's character, and it was very much the Nick Nolte voice. And the Mandalorian one more time says, hey, you won't take any money from me, because he tries to give him currency for teaching him how to ride this creature so that he can survive to get to his target that he's supposed to collect. And after Nick Nolte's alien character won't take any money, he's like, hey, why do you want to help me? And he says, I've never seen a Mandalorian in person, but if his stories are true, there will soon be peace where there is none now. I have spoken. That is the new trademark that you're going to see go everywhere on social media today. I have spoken. It was great. It was fantastic, fantastic stuff. So, Mandalorian arrives to his target and he sees another droid, a bounty droid. And it's established earlier. I forgot to mention this one little detail because I wasn't reminded of it until now. When he's traveling earlier, he refuses to travel on a speedster driven by a droid. So for whatever reason, he has issues with droids. May have something to do with his past. We'll probably find that out in future episodes. Anyway, he goes and decides, rather than try and take out this battle droid, he'll convince this battle droid to work with him. The battle droid is played by Taika Waititi. They take out all the enemies surrounding the bounty. The battle droid tries to kill the bounty after they find the bounty and open its carrier. The Mandalorian wants it alive and doesn't want it dead, so he proceeds to kill the battle droid. And then the bounty opens up, and what we see inside is a baby Yoda. Now, I'm not saying this is Yoda, but rather a member of Yoda's species. So for the first time ever, we see another member of Yoda's alien species, and that is how the episode of The Mandalorian leaves us for episode 1. What a way to leave us. What a cliffhanger this was. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Great action, great acting. Other than the pacing issues that I mentioned earlier, the only real niggle that I have with this episode is that you could tell that this was Dave Filoni's first time directing. It was very weirdly paced in some places, and it was also jarringly short because you just kind of expect epics like this type of show to be an hour long, and it was only just over 30 minutes long. I don't know if that was a pilot thing, but because of the pacing issues, this did feel very much like a pilot, and maybe like Friday's episode, which will be the normal time slot for The Mandalorian. Of course, we got one today with it being launch day as a big launch title, but then Friday will be its normal time slot. It felt like episode 2 is going to be the better episode, and this was definitely a pilot to me. That is just how I felt about it. I'll be really curious to know how other people in the space feel about it today. Haven't watched anyone else's reviews on purpose. Wanted to make sure that my opinions were untainted by anyone else's opinions. So, and of course, I want to hear from you. So jump down in the comment section below if you've had a chance to see The Mandalorian, which I'm sure you have if you decided to watch this entire review, because you would want spoilers. So, as I said, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of episode 1. I look forward to episode 2 on Friday. I said in yesterday's video that you would see a regular return to the show format covering news. However, tomorrow is my birthday. So if I get surprised with anything or get busy with anything, it may not happen and you may not see me until Thursday. So just keep that little tidbit in mind. As always, you can subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the playlist of all previous episodes of the Josh Razauskas show for this video, and of course in future videos this will feature the Mandalorian playlist. Like the video if you're so inclined to do so, as that also helps me with the ever-changing YouTube algorithm. And as Batman Begins reminds us, it's not who we are, but what we do that defines us. So make the choice to go out and do something great today and make it so.